In the news tonight, Georgetown Mayor pushes back against Vice President's tax comments.
Not as it relates to valuation of the entire city, but in relation to properties that are going up. Properties that have been 1 and 2 stories but are now 8 or 9 stories.
And Alliance for Change criticizes government over gas to energy project delays. Georgetown Mayor Alfred Mentor criticized Vice President Barrett Jagdeo's recent remarks regarding a proposed property revaluation plan by the mayor and city council on Friday, calling them misguided and reckless. Speaking at the press conference, Mentor clarified that the council's intention was not to conduct a wholesale revaluation of the city's properties, but rather to address the instances where properties are not classified correctly and are therefore not paying the appropriate rates and taxes. On Thursday, Vice President Barrett Jagdeo stated that his government would not support the move.
The pronouncement from him, as I did indicate in a letter to the mayor, that it's a misguided one. It's one that, had he understood the direction that we are taking as a body, he would not have stated that, because our aim is never to address a whole revaluation of the city, and to have that place before this council. We are very clear as to what we want. We are very clear as to how we want to treat with these issues, and we are very clear as to how we want to address those issues. It's obvious that based on our various meetings with the various officers and so on and so forth, we've learned of the challenges that we've having with Evaluation Division. We've set out to have meetings prior with Evaluation Division, and those meetings never come forth. So we decided, based on advice from the various councils, that we should write the Minister of Finance, who has dominion, or who's in charge of the Valuation Division, or which department falls under his portfolio, to have a discussion on matters that are affecting us. Not as it relates to valuation of the entire city, but in relation to properties that are going up. Properties that have been 1 and 2 stories but are now 8 or 9 stories. Properties that are not paying their right classification of rates to the council. Those are matters that we want to engage. We also want to engage those 45 percentile that are delinquent, and we have, as a council, have just made a decision to be able to ask those persons to write to us, ask those persons to reach out to us, so that we can find workable solutions and to resolve those issues.
The Vice President is playing politics, Mentor said.
Stated otherwise, but to play politics when we have to treat with unions. We've made commitments to the unions. We've made commitments to the people in the various constituencies. We've made commitments about treating with drainage matters. We have our building here, our administrative building, to better house our residents whenever they come to pay their taxes. Those are issues we want to deal with. We have our cemetery, which we saw government looking at some matters, but we have to deal with other matters of our own. We have markets. We have other infrastructural work that we have to do. But 45% of the persons have not been honoring their obligations, and those are the persons we want to treat with. We can't have 55% of the people, of citizens and homeowners, honoring their response, which include pensioners, which is a significant amount of the population. Those people come here and line up and pay and honor their obligation, but there are a number of other major players who are not paying their rate of taxes, and then I would see the Honorable Vice President chose to speak to telling them, don't pay. I thought that to be very reckless. I thought that to be very unconscionable, and I thought it was an issue that, again, would put the City Council in a very tough position.
The mayor said the council understands the autonomy granted to them by Article 75 of the Constitution, which allows the council to make binding decisions for their institutions and agencies.
And when we take it extra. done like it from the first time. When you see the two, they combine. It's a drink and taste, you will never decline. Extra lemon and lime. It's the two combined. It's one of a kind. Extra lemon and lime. Extra lemon and lime. Taste the citrus in every sip.
Running late and can't wait to the gate? We got you. The Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union Limited has introduced a fast and easier way to make payments to your accounts through the GT&T mobile money services. Here's how. Click on the MMG app. Under Services, select Pay Bills. When you are there, look for the Financial Institution option. Once that is done, select Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union Limited to pay your loan or make payments to your savings. Payments to the credit union made easier. GPS CCU, the credit union you can bank on.
The Alliance for Change on Friday raised concerns over significant delays in the U.S. $2 billion gas-to-energy project, calling for greater transparency and accountability from the government. Speaking at the party's weekly press conference, AFC Executive Member David Patterson and Dr. Vincent Adams criticized the project's management. This was following an announcement by Winston Brassington, head of the Gas-to-Energy Task Force, that the initiative is unlikely to meet its original completion timeline.
There was no feasibility study. The only study you hear about, it was a no-brainer that came from the vice president. That is why we're in this dilemma. We went ahead, now we find out that the soil is bad. If you had done a feasibility study and you'd looked at the, because that's what a feasibility study does. It looks at the engineering aspect of it, it looks at the environmental aspect of it, it looks at the emergency response aspect of it, it looked at the economics of it. That was never done. That is why it's this no-brainer approach that has put us into this dilemma. As to what I would do, if I take over today, if I had my judges and I took over today, I would say, hey, you know, we've got to have a hands down and have a review of everything that is going on to make sure that we know how to proceed. The rest, this year is gonna have a domino effect as we move forward. These things are just gonna escalate and it's gonna build upon problem is gonna compound and compound, which is exactly what's going on. We do not know when this project is really gonna end. It was supposed to have been ended or completed when last year or whenever. Now we're hoping that it will finish at the end of this year. But no, I mean, at the end of when was it? He said it. I think it's next year. So nobody knows.
Absolutely nothing. So, which is a clear indication, as we've all been saying, and if you listen to us, our press conferences, that when there's so claims that early, 95% of the time the client loses and the contractor wins. So, added on to every single thing now, you note how there's a $50 million claim. Plus, there's one which is being arbitrated at the moment. The government started off by saying that it would cost $810 million completed in 2 years. Neither have been true. They've started off saying that we would get electricity at half the cost. No, they started off by saying that we get electricity at 8 to 10 cents, if you could remember when they started it. They jumped to 15 cents last year, and they're now saying a significant reduction of in electricity bill. They've stopped putting a number to it, and that's all signs that their maths and their whole study is off. I want the nation to remember we've been through this before with this particular government. In 2009, they came to the country with much fanfare. I was actually at the opening of the Skeldon Sugar Factory, and I was there when it was announced that this project here is a savior for the sugar industry, and it actually was the killer of the industry, because for years we've been there before. The one laptop per family announcement that it will raise our the internet connectivity, the science and maths grade, the matriculation, and we've seen the end results.
This is a flagship project for Guyana and will see a reduction in electricity rates and boost the capacity of Guyana. For these and other stories, do visit us at our website www.rdproductiongy.com.